Every enterprise project generates a massive amount of data, but most of it is trapped in the spoken word. During fast-paced meetings, critical decisions, technical constraints, and task assignments are buried within complex, unstructured human conversation. Traditional project management tools are ill-equipped to capture this rapidly moving information. They require someone to parse the conversation and manually input the variables into a tracker after the fact. Because these passive repositories rely entirely on delayed human data entry, they introduce significant information latency. By the time a project manager updates the system, the project's actual state has often already moved on. The GNDLF PMO cockpit is designed to address this latency by operating as an active AI agent rather than a passive transcription tool. In this visualization, we see its core capability. It listens to the raw speech of a meeting and autonomously translates that unstructured dialogue into rigidly structured project variables. To understand how this works, we need to map the architecture of this AI pipeline and examine how it enforces enterprise compliance at every step. The system processes information through 3 successive computational layers: extraction, validation, and telemetry. Transitioning from a passive repository to an active agent is a necessary step to begin addressing the data latency inherent in large-scale project management. Data enters the system either through direct API integration or via the AI Nautic taker, which records the meeting transcripts. The ingestion layer immediately applies natural language processing to these transcripts, generating an overarching summary and explicitly isolating actionable items from the surrounding conversation. Once isolated, the system binds these action items to specific attendees. The agent then performs historical reconciliation, cross-referencing extracted data against previous project backlogs. By analyzing the meeting's context, the AI autonomously updates the state of older tasks. It logs if prior assignments have been closed out or remain pending, are currently suspended, or actively in progress. Because the system tracks these variables continuously, it reduces the need for manual status meetings focused on administrative updates. Real-time ingestion and historical reconciliation allow the project's tracked state to refresh without the delays and data gaps typical of manual entry. Once the data is structured, it moves to the next processing layer, where the system projects these newly extracted tasks against the master project timeline. This timeline graph illustrates the agent's TKI skill module, verifying newly extracted deliverables against the baseline headlines. If a conversation reveals a changed delivery date, the system detects the discrepancy. When a date pushes past a deadline, it immediately flags the schedule slippage. Beyond immediate schedule tracking, the agent applies this timeline data to predictive human resource forecasting. The system scans weeks and months ahead, calculating the cumulative task loads distributed across the entire enterprise. This proactive forecasting allows managers to spot human resource bottlenecks long before they impact the delivery schedule. Schedule telemetry takes lagging indicators, like missed deadlines, and converts them into leading indicators of preventable bottlenecks. This brings us to the most critical architectural layer of the system, the validation layer. Simply extracting a task is useless if the assigned action itself violates technical constraints or corporate policies. Here, the agent checks decisions for feasibility across technical domains, running them through filters for infrastructure, network, and database architectures. It also validates rigid requirements, like SAP project customization steps, instantly flagging compliance risks. The system ingests company-specific design standards and regulations directly, forming automated boundaries that every task must clear. This gatekeeping mechanism prevents non-compliant tasks from ever reaching the costly execution phase. This validation is reinforced at the end of the software pipeline by a sister product, the GNDLF Test Assistant. The Test Assistant physically executes tests on the final deliverables, ensuring they meet all security guardrails and compliance regulations. Active validation ensures that AI accelerates project delivery, while strictly enforcing corporate governance along the way. This network graph represents the final processing layer, which turns away from technical specifications to analyze the behavioral telemetry of the human operators. The system monitors individual workload by aggregating assigned action items over time. If a team member approaches their burnout threshold, the AI triggers an early warning alarm. It measures individual efficiency against historical baselines and can even detect interpersonal conflicts by analyzing friction points during task handoffs. When it identifies these communication breakdowns, the system outputs actionable team management suggestions to resolve the conflicts. It also recommends proactive team coaching activities designed to increase overall group productivity. By integrating human behavioral analytics into project management, the system prevents systemic failures caused by personnel fatigue or interpersonal friction. Zooming out from these specialized data layers reveals the final output, a centralized, continuously updated enterprise PMO dashboard. This dashboard maintains a continuously updated state of company-wide visibility, tracking progress across all project stages. The system leverages this aggregated data to generate high-level initial project documentation automatically. It then highlights the specific gaps where humans need to step in and write more detailed, granular documentation. While manual oversight relies on snapshots of what happened days or weeks ago, this environment synchronizes the project's risk profile with the actual conversation. The GNDLF PMO cockpit operates as a right-hand assistant, designed specifically to ensure that absolutely no variables are missed. Architecting a project pipeline around an active AI agent provides a framework for ensuring execution stays within rigid enterprise boundaries.